Okay, today is January 26, 2016. Right now it's about 8:27 p.m. Pacific time, so it's about 11:30 Eastern time. So anyway, just going to do a quick video going to the S&P 500. Essentially, I want to talk about the ES, okay, the S&P 500 Emini Futures. I'm going to talk about what I see as one possible scenario on what the price action going to be in the coming month. Okay. And I put up a blog post a few days ago that have the chart on the S&P 500 that I sort of elaborate a little bit more. So I'm not going to go do that again. If you haven't read it, then go to my blog and go read it. If you read it, then hey, that's great. But I give you just a little refresher here. Essentially, looking at the weekly chart, a lot of people was basically looking at originally looking at this particular head and shoulder pattern, right? Okay, and thinking that the head and shoulder pattern had broken here, but to me that is not a what we call a classical standard head and head and shoulder type of pattern. For one thing is this head is the shoulder is pretty close to the head, so you could make a point that it's more of a double top, right? And then you got this little in between here. So and everybody was watching this this October close, this October low last week, right? For the test, but actually what a lot of people miss is the April low. So if so now that since we got the April low put in, so now we got a little bit more better, or might be a what I call a property form, or will be property form head and shoulder pattern, right? So here's the left shoulder, and here's the head, and the right shoulder is about to be formed. Okay, so what I did is also did a retracement here on a Fibonacci retracement, and expecting the right shoulder to be somewhere around this 38.2, right? Okay, so because if you look at this here, this particular left shoulder is pretty much the same level. Okay, so essentially it is like 62%, right, from the bottom to this area. That's a typical, right? It's not like it has to. It's just close enough, but at least it's a little bit more of traditional or standard, more classic, type of head and shoulder pattern. So that's basically what I'm looking at. And if we do get that head and shoulder formation, that pattern, and then when we break, then we basically break down to this 168 or to the 100% retracement, which would bring it down to somewhere around 1500, okay, on the S&P, right? So now let's go and take a look at the ES. Okay, let me put the ES on there. So essentially on the ES, we pretty much the same, right? Here's the left shoulder, and here's the head, and then we're waiting to form the right shoulder. Okay, same thing. We basically looking at this projection here, right? So if we put a Fibonacci retracement here, so we're essentially looking for a projection somewhere around up to this level here, right? This area here. Okay, so you can see this is also similar to that level, right? So then when we trace it down, then we get this 100% retracement down to somewhere around this 1474. Now the other thing is, okay, is the what we call this particular relief rally or whatever it may be, right? Because everybody was thinking about this doomsday, that as soon as we break this October low, then everything crashing down. But what we might be seeing is a rebound off of this low here and come up and maybe form another, a little bit of a lower high before this market, crash down or whatever, or melt down, whatever you want to call it, right? Okay, so that's the weekly. All right, let's go and take a look at on the daily time frame. Well, let's not do that. Let's go and take a look at on a more of an hourly chart. Okay, all right. So what we're basically looking at here, okay, right, is a hourly chart of the ES. Okay, and what I'm doing, okay, just for right now for the this retracement or this bounce or this relief rally, how it's going to play out. So it's going to have many days for you to trade, right? So the first thing that I'm looking at right now is the possibility of a inverted head and shoulder might be forming here, right? Okay, or there's the other thing is that it could have this head and shoulder that we might also get a little bit more of a test, come back down and retest that low that we made last week, okay, before we get another bounce or something. Okay, so that might be a possibility. Okay, but the thing is, the interesting thing to note, right, if we do get this inverted head and shoulder play out, okay, let's say this is going to come up, right, this inverted head and shoulder is I got a major move over here, right, this swing here, okay, and then it bounce up here, and essentially if we're gonna do this head and shoulder, inverted head and shoulder major move, and we doing 100% major move here, then we essentially talking about 2004.25, somewhere around there, right? Okay, so if we go back and say somewhere around there, or even on the 1618. Okay, let's look at the 1618 because I got the line drawn here. Let's say let's not be too optimistic, right? Okay, so we're talking about the 1618, right? Okay, from this this particular retracement here. Essentially, we're doing a 61.8% major move on the head and shoulder pattern, or a Fibonacci retracement trade set up with a 161.8 target, right? Okay, so we extend this thing down, and if I change this to a daily chart here, and guess what? Where is this thing tagging? This is the 168, right? Okay, and here's the September FOMC announcement date, and here is the day before that, the when they started the meeting, right? So we are back to this vicinity again, right? Back in this area. Okay, and if we do 100% move, right, the 100 major move, okay, then we're essentially back at the FOMC announcement day, okay, to close to that intraday high. So that's basically what I'm looking at for a possibility of the head and shoulder for that right shoulder to retrace. Let me go and hide this thing, and then essentially what we said was earlier is to get a retracement up here, right? Okay, and then we will have a pattern, right? The right shoulder to come up here. Okay, you see this right here, right? This 38.2. You see this guy here, right? Magic, huh? Well, good luck.